Regular visitors to this channel will be no stranger to the high-octane, adrenaline-fueled danger that is integral to every one of my videos, and today is no exception. Today is possibly the pinnacle of everything I've achieved so far. That's right, it's a comparison video between two travel tripods. Whoa. What are you doing? So what could compel me, a person who is on the record on this channel as despising tripods, to make a video about a tripod? Well, about two tripods. Well, I was sent it for free, basically. NEEWER approached me, Chinese company, and that's how they pronounce their name, so I'm going to pronounce it that way. But no, in my head, I'm saying Ni. It's just how it reads to me. But NEEWER approached me. They asked if I was interested in collaborating on a video. They had a list of products. Is there anything I'd be interested in covering? Most of it was video gear, so the answer largely was no. And I use that gear myself. I've paid my own money for it in the past. I have a few different bits and I generally really like it. It's affordable and it works quite well, so that's great. But I'm not going to make a video about a light stand. That's probably even duller than this one will be. But anyway, on their list was this tripod, the NEEWER LT07, catchy name, travel tripod. And I thought this was interesting because it is clearly inspired by the tripod I already own, the one that the video camera is on. That is the Peak Design travel tripod. Now I have the carbon fiber version of that, but the first thing that struck me was that this was an aluminium tripod that has a significantly better ball head, and it weighs almost the same as the Peak Design carbon fiber tripod, which is very bizarre, and it costs about a quarter of the price. So you can probably end the video here. If that's all you're interested in, they're functionally very similar. It's a quarter of the price, just go and buy this one, probably. But anyway, as a disclaimer, I got this for free, so you shouldn't trust me anyway, or anyone for that matter who gets something for free, but I like to think I'm still impartial. But you should know I do like this tripod, and I'm now going to explain the reasons why I think this is actually quite a bit better than the Peak Design one for a significantly smaller amount of money, which in this climate is a fantastic thing. And if you hate tripods, but you realise that you need a tripod sometimes, like me, I think this is quite a good option. So let's have a look at some of the differences. Let's talk tripod heads. Now, this is a pain point for me with the Peak Design tripod. It has a custom designed head. It's quite cleverly designed in some ways, but this is a thing I find with a lot of Peak Design products. I feel like the trade-offs aren't really worth it for the nice bits of design. It's very compact. That is the big bonus of it. It is smaller when compressed because of that. But if it's not very useful, is that an advantage? If you're going to have to replace it with something more functional for you, or because you find that one irritating, and I find that very irritating, then it doesn't really save you anything at all. In fact, it's just wasted money. So that head is quite bizarre in the way it works. I think it's got some disadvantages. Certain angles you're going to foul on the sort of triple feet on the ball head. You have to raise it slightly off of the legs before you can start moving it. It's quite easy to unlock it by mistake, things like that. It is generally quite irritating. This one is perfectly fine. I have no complaints. It's quite a nice little ball head. It's quite easily adjustable. You can get the tension set quite nicely and you can still move it and then it sort of sits there. Very nice. You can obviously tighten it off entirely. It gets stuck there. Very nice. You've got a decent range of movement around and a little slot for your portrait shots. Very nice. But the main advantage of this over that is that you also can pan. Fancy that. You cannot pan on that Peak Design head. I don't know if they've brought out a new one since I bought this. I don't think they have. But it is my biggest complaint. For video, it's infuriating because essentially what you have to do is what you'd do on this if this didn't have it, which is to sort of loosen the ball head and try and pan flat. It doesn't really work. It's why you don't really see many shots like that from me, because I can't do them on that tripod. This one has the ability to pan. That's worth the extra height. It's not a very big ball head in the slightest, to be honest. It's a perfectly decent one. And it's got a couple of other neat tricks up its sleeve as well. I think the locking is more secure and it is changeable out of the box, unlike the Peak Design one. So the Peak Design one, you have to buy an accessory. If you want to swap the head, you have to buy this. And I quite resent having bought this. I think it cost me about 15 to 30 pounds. I can't remember how much, but it wasn't as cheap as you'd hope. It didn't come included. And obviously you then got to buy another tripod head on top of that. So that's quite irritating. Now with this one, you can just unscrew it from underneath. Lovely. Even better, in the package comes a little short centre post that does the same. So if you want to get flat to the ground, and this does go flat to the ground, we'll cover that in the leg section, you've got this tiny centre post. It's included in the package. That's really cool. It's not the only thing that's included though. They also include a little phone holder. If you do film yourself with a phone or take photos with your phone, this is quite nice actually. I was quite surprised by this. I wasn't expecting that I would use it at all. Let me get my camera off of here. So it's got a little screw. It's got these little securing points on it, as well as the tripod screw. Stick it in the top of there. Fold it out. You got a phone holder with a cold shoe on the top as well. Let me get my phone out. This is a large phone. This is the 16 Pro Max. It's fantastic. It's even got its own tilt. It's nice and secure. What a nice little thing to have included. It's not a hugely valuable thing to have added, but it is very handy, and especially if this is being considered a tripod for people who make video. What a nice thing. But there's some extra benefits too. There's another mounting point here, which I hadn't even noticed until I was looking through the specs of this tripod earlier. But you can screw your phone in here if you so desire. You can screw other things in there too. You could have a light microphone, I guess. And there's another couple of mounting points like this down here too, which I would guess you would use for things like microphones and lights. It's overall very well thought out. I'm quite impressed by the design, especially of the head, and it's just nice to have those little bits extra. Like, you feel like you're getting more for your money, and you are getting a lot for your money with this tripod. Quick in the field edit, because I forgot about a feature on the Peak Design. It too has a phone holder, so you can scrub this off the pure advantage, but it is a little bit fiddly, the Peak Design one, including how to find it, which is why I forgot it exists. So I'm going to show you where it is. I actually quite like this. I think it's a very clever bit of design. It's inside here. So you pull down on this, you twist that sort of little plug comes out, and then you've got the phone holder in here. Now, this doesn't screw in. Instead, you clamp it using the Arca Swiss plate. So it sort of clamps in there, or around the other way, I think, something like that. So you sort of clamp it in there. And to be fair, it works fine. I have no real complaints about that. Lost focus again. I just completely forgot it exists. So that's perfectly fine. It's actually something that they've got similarly to each other. And I do like that it is stowable in the tripod, but I do like the adjustability of the one in the newer tripod a little bit better. Both tripods come with a quick release plate. Again, the newer one seems to have been inspired by the Peak Design one, but that's good because I like the Peak Design quick release plates. However, there is one aspect in which I think Neewer have improved on the design, which is that for the Peak Design one, you need to use an Allen key or hex key to attach or remove it. With the newer one, you can use a flathead screwdriver or your finger and thumb as well. I find this really useful in the field. I frequently lose Allen keys, even though Peak Design do include one with the tripod. I always have a penknife with me, and I always have a flathead screwdriver because of that. So this is a big improvement for my use case, at least. So let's have a quick look at the leg adjustability. This is a pain point for me with the Peak Design tripod. It only has 2 settings, and you cannot adjust the legs unless you push them in slightly first. That's quite annoying. I'm going to assume that that's a security feature, but I don't like it. The newer one has this sort of sliding doodad on a spring, quite like that, and it has 3 settings. It's got this, the fully upright mode, it's got a mid mode, and then it's got completely flat, as in 90-degree angles on the legs. The Peak Design one, by comparison, has this, the fully upright mode, and a sort of a not quite flat mode. It's certainly less adjustable. One of the other interesting aspects to them, I think, is that the Peak Design tripod has an extra leg section and is taller. But it's not taller overall because the centre post of the newer one is longer. Now, in theory, that's less stable. But it also means that more of the weight on the newer one is closer to the ground, so maybe that is a good trade-off. It also means the lower leg sections of the newer are thicker, and I believe it's probably the reason why the Peak Design one works out quite heavy for a carbon fibre tripod. The legs can't possibly weigh too much, but the extra clips surely do. And the fact that the newer one is only 100 grams heavier with a significantly more useful tripod head and being made of aluminium is quite bizarre to me. So I don't think that trade-off is worth it on the Peak Design one. Now, one aspect that's kind of shared between these two tripods is the overall height. They are very, very similar, even though they achieve that height in different ways. The Peak Design one has longer legs, this has a longer centre post. Now, for most things, like landscape photography, that's not a problem. You usually actually want it a little bit lower than your head. For wildlife, you can have a bigger head on it if you were using one of these for wildlife, and again, it would raise the height up a little bit more, but to be honest, you're probably going to buy something different for wildlife most of the time. For video making, they're generally quite good, but I would say if you're a little bit taller, and I'm not tall, but I'm 5'11", so a Tinder 6 foot, if you will, then it is slightly below your eye level, which isn't a problem. And I've realised now that I've chosen a really stupid location to do this video because none of this woodland floor is level in the slightest. But anyway, it is slightly below my eye level. For photography, totally fine. But if you're filming yourself, you're going to look like this a lot. So what I tend to do with the Peak Design one is I stick it very slightly uphill, because otherwise you do get that sort of effect, and it is quite annoying. Just bear that in mind if you are using it for content creation, this sort of stuff. They are, as far as I can tell, basically exactly the same functional height, even if they achieve it in different ways. One of the benefits of having fewer leg sections is it's actually slightly quicker to set up. I will say that the clips on the Peak Design legs are quite nice. They feel quite sort of smooth, I suppose. These are very clippy, as in they're quite solid. I don't know if it's a difference because this is the carbon fibre one and they have to be a little bit gentler or something, but there's no real advantage between one or the other. I just thought I'd mention that. One thing I've always liked about the Peak Design travel tripod is the snazzy little case. This is good. This is a lovely bit of design. I like a few of Peak Design's bags, actually. I've got their travel pouch or something like that. That's actually brilliantly designed. No complaints. This is designed very similarly. I like the functionality of it. And if you're going around a city and you're carrying a tripod, this is quite nice. It makes it very non-obvious that you've got camera gear with you. If your bag is also nondescript, that's quite a nice thing to have. Kind of recommend it for that reason. It actually even has a little pouch inside that I, again, had forgotten about until about 2 minutes ago. And it conceals a thing. I don't know what this is. I'll just put it back inside. By comparison, the newer tripod's bag is nothing special. It's like a gym bag, really. So that's an advantage to the Peak Design one. It's not really a big one, but this is quite cool, and I do quite like this pouch. If I get rid of the Peak Design tripod in the future, it's the thing I'll miss the most about it, in fact, which just feels really sad actually saying that now. So a conclusion then for this exceptionally exciting tripod video. Now, I haven't called this a review because I don't like calling videos reviews if I've received the item for free. If I've just got a loaner, then it'll be a review, but they gave me this, so it's not a review. But my overall opinion of it is that I really like it. So much so but I might buy a second one. So I think that hopefully shows how much I like this, that I am still willing to go and spend my money on it, because I have a use for 2 tripods, but that one is a very expensive tripod, and I could sell that and buy a second one of these and have some money left over to waste on something else. So I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. I have generally, I'm not going to go as far as say I liked using it, because I don't like using tripods. It's been fine. I have no major complaints about the Peak Design tripod, or I would have gotten rid of it. I've always been a little bit scared about obliterating the legs, because I am quite clumsy and it's got very spindly carbon fibre leg sections. Aluminium is a little bit better in that aspect. You're less likely to completely snap it, you're more likely to just bend it, which you can potentially fix. Not necessarily. So yeah, the Peak Design one's been fine, but it's a lot of money to have in an object that I don't really like using. And for me, it's kind of similar to value for money when it comes to value for weight. Yes, this is 100 grams heavier, there or thereabouts. I'll put the weights up on the screen, including the aluminium version of the Peak Design one. But like value for money, it's about what you're getting for the amount of money you spent, not having the cheapest thing available. And it's the same with weight. Yes, this weighs slightly more, but it's significantly more functional, to the point where I would take this with me more often. So that's interesting by comparison to the Peak Design. If I cared only about weight, well, there are significantly lighter tripods on the market. You can get some other small travel tripods that are about 800 grams now, which is insane, very lightweight. That's a huge weight saving, something like 30 to 40%, I think. That's really, really nice. So, is that right? Yeah, I don't trust my mental arithmetic when I'm just stood in the woods. Anyway, it's got a lot of functionality for the weight, but if you only care about weight, say carry-on weight, things like that when you are traveling, which is an important part of travel for a lot of people, you know, getting on planes, etc., then going for something lighter might be best. But these are very compact, which is an advantage. So you can pack them in smaller spaces. One of the nicest things about it, and about the way these legs are designed, because this is the major thing that's sort of been taken from the Peak Design one, is that it folds very compactly, and you can fit it in sort of bottle pouches on the sides of bags, things like that. I really like that aspect. Now, height is less of an issue for me when folded, and therefore I have no problem with this. If for some reason it is, you really need to get it inside a bag, for example, then yeah, the Peak Design one may make more sense to you. But this works really well for me. It's very stable. And I think for my use case, which is usually landscape photography and videography, it's for making videos like this is more useful. I find it less annoying, and I will probably buy another one. So that's my conclusion from this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. There will be some affiliate links, by the way, I think. You don't have to click them. They're not obligatory, but they do help the channel out if you do. Let me know your thoughts, I guess, about tripods, if you must. But anything else you want to mention as well, ideally that, because I can't believe I just spent 2 hours in the woods making a video about tripods, to be honest. But never mind, I'll catch you next time and we'll do some photography or something instead.